Peace. Think fast. Hey. Remembering to stay in the moment, but on a strong level. I think about, like, looking back, I see that it's undeniable that, when I was, constantly, like, not in my unbalanced state, but just in that state of being, of just making sure I was adamant about being in the moment, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I thought about this, because I thought about, like, the terminology, which I did a video about it, the vibrational snob. Like, like somebody being snobbish, but on a vibrational level, like on some, like, look, if they ain't, if they always being negative, and which, though, that's not being a vibrational snob. Like, say, for instance, if somebody obviously is always negative and always trying to be in an energy that doesn't benefit, it's not being a snob. Remember, negativity comes with our life experience, but it doesn't mean we're here to, to have it just as even as the positive energy. Matter of fact, and speaking of something else, life is meant to be blissful and enjoyed every moment. So when we talk about a balance and how, positive and negative balance each other out, yes, the two aspects balance each other out. But when we say that positive and negative balance each other out, we're not saying that those things should be present in your life in a balanced manner. Like, so you shouldn't be walking around trying to make sure that there's 50% positivity in your life and 50% negativity in your life. Our being is meant to be, blissful, for the most part at all times. Again, we just been in this state of, in a sunken place, in a place of, forgetting our true being, our true essence. Because, matter of fact, we tapped into the sexual energy. Like, we spend, like, think about it, like, bruh, all that, I got a job, I gotta work this, I gotta do this. Like, man, we meant to just be blissful and experience, like, to, like, say, for instance, partaking in sexual energies, whether it's physical or non-physical, but like being blissful in that moment and enjoying ourselves, enjoying family, in the community, enjoying everything, enjoying what you're growing, the crops you're dealing with, enjoying festivities. Like, everything should always be blissful, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it's being in this society and being in these certain little social constructs that create a vibe of, pushing a lot of negativity into the realm. But again, negativity do exist, and it is a part of our experience. But again, when we say negativity brings, like negative, like the negative exists for the positive exists, the light exists for the dark to exist, But speaking, though, to the positive and negative aspect, again, when we say it's a balance and how positive energy balances out negative energy, yes, they do balance each other out. But, like, say, for instance, the negativity exists as a balance, in essence, And again, like cancerous cells, like the cancerous cells in this body serves as a balance. That doesn't mean that the cancerous cells and the light-bringing cells should be balanced 50-50. You know what I'm saying? No, it's going to be more of the light-bringing cells in the body. Because, matter of fact, shit, 50-50, then, the body will end up, it could go in the cancerous direction and, transition. But that cancer creates a situation where, because it, like, say, for instance, seeing the beauty in certain negative aspects, you know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't for the pressure from, say, for instance, the oppressing energies, like trying to do all these different things to us, they basically creating pressure that's making a diamond, and they creating experience. So, by having cancerous cells, within the body, because for the most part they're present but just dormant, but like, that in essence give me something to do, like, because these cancerous cells exist, that allows for me to partake in the activity of eating healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, to have something to do, literally, like, in order, because if everything was all one and all big glob of just perfection in that essence, You know, if we all look the same, walk the same, talk the same, all had the knowledge of source the same, you know, and no positive, no negative, no light, no dark, like everything the same, and the experience would just be, you know, just that one experience. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have nothing to do because there is nothing to do. Why would you have to do anything? There's no, you know, that, like, say for instance, in order to have action, you gotta have no action. But if everything won, then, you know, there's no action or no non-action. It's just that one. You know what I'm saying? So that whole aspect. But and again, back to that whole the aspect of being in the moment, being in the now. Like, looking back, I realized when I was being a little more of a vibrational snob, how much manifestation and synchronicity I was experiencing. You know what I mean? Like a vibrational snob, just making sure that, you know, in conversations, I would, you know, make sure to bring up like that point guard energy I brought up in another video. It's like, you know, allow for people to be who they are and speak how they're going to speak. But you could tell, especially, you know, you're sensitive to energy, or you kind of got like this psychic energy where you could just kind of feel and predict where somebody might be heading when they say something, you know. And it's like, all right, this person about to dwell in this negativity, so let me say something to get us back focused in our now, you know what I'm saying? But I used to be way more like overly governing about it, but I do want to get back to a place where I'm just, you know, just always consciously aware to be focused in the moment. Because a lot of times too, like a lot of conversations by habitual nature, you know, our conversations always, you know, look to go to some situation in the past or some situation that don't serve our moment, you know what I'm saying? Like some type of fearful aspect of worrying about something that isn't in your realm in the moment, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just, again, making everything about the now, like, because I always think about, like, I would be talking to somebody, and they'll go to, like, well, yeah, man, and, you know, my mom passed, and this and that, and that, and it. And again, I have, like, a little timer, like, a little internal timer that's, like where it's a certain amount of time that's venting, you know, like, all right, allow for this person, you know, to vent and get this out, you know, because what a vent is, you know, like, you know, letting some air out, vent that, you know what I'm saying? But a vent is like, you know, quickly vent that out, you know, but it is a time lapses of, like, once it go past a certain point, and it's no longer venting, it's kind of dwelling in negativity, and, you know, and I was just in a place of, and I say was, getting, you know, aligning myself back in that area of just making sure that, you know, when dealing in conversation, that always help to make sure that we're in the moment. Like, you know, like what can we talk about that best suits our moment? Like, that's the questions you want to ask ourselves. Is this conversation serving the better good of me and the person who's having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Or is this conversation bringing us into a place of, like, where we kind of frowning up and got to feel sad about something when we really don't have to? Like, again, there's situations that happen and, like, you know, within the moment, and we venting and, you know, dealing with that moment. But then there's certain shit that done happen, don't have no relevance to the moment, but that just gets brought up. Like, hey, my cat died when I was 12 and I cried forever. This don't have no relevance to our moment, but I just thought that I should mention. It's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not venting. That's that negative energy trying to, you know, trying to pull, you know, take us away from the moment, you know. So again, just, you know, maintaining the energy field, you know, making sure, you know, again, not that overly vibrational snob aspect of, like, oh, if this person, you know, like just no negativity at all. Because, again, negative energy does exist for a reason, you know, but it's not for us to dwell in it. Most of our experience should be spent blissful, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should be, you know, rubbing on each other and loving on each other and fucking enjoying the family and talking and communicating, and just everything should be blissful. Because another thing too, as we create more and more blissful experiences, that's all it's going to be to talk about. And you'll see that the conversations will start switching to all it's going to be is about the blissful moments. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to be slowly moving out of a place of, you know, of that constantly being wired to just go to a place that's negative, you know. Like, so, you know, remember that within our walk to, you know, be consciously aware, to always be in the moment, you know. Like, oh man, I remember when the police this and that. It's like, hey, hold on, bro. Like, that don't even serve the moment. Like, you know, I could see if whatever we're doing, whatever you about to speak on is relevant to our now. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not relevant, like literally, our conversation should almost make us feel like we're leveling up at all times. Like, there is no reason to plug in some negativity on some just cuz shit. Now again, the way the universe works, yeah, it'll naturally come up when it serves that purpose of being a necessity in our realm. Then that negativity gonna come up for us to deal with it, you know, observe it and transmute it. But it's not for us to be around here purposely bringing up negative aspects, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically self-sabotage. Because here it is, there's so many things to talk about in your moment that will have relevance to your moment, that will bring light to you and whoever you talking about. But yet, you would choose a conversation that's gonna bring everybody to a mad or sad or, you know, a place that's not in alignment, you know. Like, say for instance, like, that's why I be aware to watch myself or cut in, like, when we go to talking about the past or like talking about drugs and, like, you know, my past with that is like only when it's relevant to the now. If me doing all the stuff that I did in the past ain't relevant to the moment and it's not gonna create a learning, like, if it's not gonna create a learning experience for that, you know, within that conversation for what we talking about and have relevance in that realm, then why bring it up? You know, like, why bring up shit to frown? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you start to see again, there's a self-sabotage energy where it's just trying to find any kind of way to throw mud on your track. You know what I'm saying? So again, just, and for myself, realizing again that the synchronicity, you know, is at a higher level, the less you know, negativity that's put on your track, the less thoughts, you know, the less you're in the thought realm, the more you are in alignment, you know, the more you are in the moment, you know. It's all about the now moment. Yeah, because matter of fact, I remember if like, again, having a conversation with somebody, if whatever they was talking about wasn't relevant to the moment or relevant to our now, I'm like, bruh, like, I'm straight. Like, let's talk about what's going on right now. Like, and I used to do that. Like, what's going on right now? Like, what's in your now? What's in the moment? Like, you know. Matter of fact, we right here smoking herb, enjoying ourselves, and you want to talk about some shit about how, you know, something happened on some negative aspects. And again, there is an aspect of allowing people to vent, you know. And that, again, that goal and comes with your own inner guidance. Your own inner guidance is going to let you know when you are open to allowing somebody to vent to you and when you should protect your energy and go in a corner somewhere. Just like a boxing match, you know, you box for a little round, and you got to go in your little corner and get your rest, get yourself together, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that flows with your inner guidance. You know, you'll get that strong urge to know, like, hey, you know, be an open ear for this person, you know, in this moment, you know, or you get the vibe of like, go the other direction because this person about to try to dwell in this energy and not necessarily just vent it out, you know, because that is a thin line, you know, because again, in order to help someone, I have to be in a high vibrational state. Like, think about it. If one person is sad or, you know, feeling some kind of way, you know, what really helps the situation is if, you know, I come in like with laughter and with high vibrations, and and bringing in a positive energy. But if that person's sitting at negative, and then I come around and like, oh yeah, I'll be sad with you. Like, let's be sad together. I remember when I used to shoot up dope and I ain't had this and that, and yeah, bro, life be fucked up, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, it's two motherfuckers sitting in the quicksand. And now you're gonna have to wait till, again, like literally like on cartoons or movies where it's like one person stuck in quicksand, the other one fuck up and fall in it too. Now they gotta wait for a third person to come and try to save both of them, And if that third person, now it's a fourth person that gotta come to dig everybody up out of the quicksand. But, it's maintaining a high vibrational light. Again, that's why certain energies, and again, this is spiritual warfare. There's energies that exist within all of us that, like, say for instance, like within my spiritual growth, there's an energy that's trying to keep me in an old space, you know what I'm saying? And so when we interacting with each other, sometimes that little agent within us will try to throw off somebody else, growth, you know what I'm saying? Again, well, here it is where you're not deliberately being an agent, but say for instance, I'm still smoking herb, and somebody else on their growth, then they got to a place so they feel like, hey, smoking herb ain't a part of my energy no more, so I'm not smoking. And and they leave that realm, and then I come around like, hey, you want to smoke some herb, you know what I'm saying? That's that energy. And that's not a great example from what I'm speaking on to some extent, but again, there is this energy that tries to, when it sees a certain high vibrational energy, a certain high vibrational being, it's an energy that doesn't want to see that being vibrate on that frequency, and that energy, it moves through whatever avenue it could, like almost like the movie with Denzel, I forgot what it's called, where the brethren who got the electric chair, his soul could jump bodies and stuff like that. But that's how that energy does. Like, this energy jumps bodies, and when you in a blissful state, say for instance, and you in alignment, that lower vibrational energy, like you go around somebody and that person kind of probably been, not even been in a lower vibrational state, but let's just say, your energy, because it's vibrating on a higher frequency, you go around somebody else, that frequency that doesn't want to see, those high vibrations, because they know that those high vibrations basically creates its debt. Like, the lower vibrational, quote unquote, demonic energies that's trying to, bring the high vibrations down, basically, see those high vibrations as a threat. So when we're vibrating a high frequency, like say for instance, I might, and this how it's just a frequency thing, and again, it's like an energy that moves, and a lot of times, a lot of people not doing these things, again, deliberately, but like say for instance, where my mama, my mama not trying to kill me and not trying to harm me, and on a deliberate level, but because she may not be in the part of, in the same area of growth that I'm on, when I'm vibrating on a high frequency, I might go around her and she'd be like, hey, you want a piece of meat? Or you want, and I'm just hypothetical, I cook some steak and eggs or something, all right, you want a cigarette and some wine cooler, or something that, that doesn't raise my vibration up in that moment. And again, it's all right for us to interface with these things, you know what I'm saying? This is a matrix. Let's get that straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could smoke it. Like, it's in this matrix, you're capable, if you strengthen yourself, you're capable of drinking battery acid if you were able to, strengthening your subconscious mind in connection with knowing this is a matrix. That is a possible thing. So with that being said, as I'm saying, cigarettes and wine coolers and eating meat is something that, is unhealthy, not from the perspective of good and bad or this and that, it's just something that is unhealthy, and again, if I'm vibrating on a certain high vibrational frequency, that energy, you know, with, you know, because basically what's happening is that energy sees that, hey, I can't get to this person from within this person because this person been doing their inner work. So the only way to get in this, you know, to try to drag this person into this realm is to come to them from external aspect, you know, and that'd be from, you know, anybody, from family members to, you know, close friends and all that, you know what I'm saying, that, again, to present a certain type of energy that may try to bring your vibe down. But again, it's just maintaining your alignment, you know, maintain your balance, you know, because again, that's how you break out of lesson loops too. Like, it's by being, you know, strongly in your energy. Whenever something presents itself, you're like, oh no, I'm straight or whatever, you know, then that creates a vibe of making sure it establishes it, you know, even much more strongly. Your energy gets established, in essence, like, you know, as far as like your growth. It's really, really established when you address, you know, those little tests, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, say, for instance, when you just quit smoking and then somebody come around like, hey, you want to hit this? And you're like, oh, nah, I'm straight. And then you're verse like, all right, bam. Like, you know, that kind of, you know, strengthens that energy of making sure that now you won't have, you know, nobody trying to, you know, test you because you passed that little first little test, you know. But again, being in the moment at all times to the best of our abilities is a constant work, of course, you know. And two, I also see the vibration of always being tested after declaring something like this. Like as I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in the now fully, and, you know, in a and manage it a little more like how I used to, just making sure that I don't let you know, conversations drift too far out of the realm of our now or what's beneficial to our now. Like, you know, just always making sure that whatever I'm dealing with or talking about in the moment is relevant to my moment and is relevant in my moment in a way that's blissful and beneficial and brings joy and, you know what I'm saying, abundance and prosperity and alignment in my realm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to have myself in too many conversations that do anything outside of that, you know? So basically, like, you know, the blissfulness, alignment, you know, the synchronicity, you know, the moment, like, not trying to deal with anything out that's not relevant to becoming my greatest version. If it's not relevant to me becoming the greatest version, then why even deal with it, you know? That's why at the beginning of my growth, I was way more stronger too on that vibe of like really not dealing with like pop culture and social media. Not say social media, but, you know, just media in general and like the news and stuff like that. And two, that was amplifying my synchronicity as well, because I didn't have all these other realms popping off in my mind. You know, all it was me, you know, but I how can I say, I did see though where like it could have used a little balance, which what I'm doing now, as far as like where, but I was a little bit non-social with people, you know. So, you know, I see a little balance, but, you know, like whenever I wasn't dealing with, you know, again, just sticking to dealing with content that was beneficial to my moment and my now, you know, like that was it. And that's when the synchronicities was at a higher, you know, a higher rate, because I was more in alignment. You know, you don't have all this extra external noise. You know, you don't have, you know, again, you're not focused on any type of negative stuff, because again, you've been focused in your moment, and even when interacting with people, you know, you're always in the moment and what's best for the moment, you know. But that's basically it. That's all I have to say about that. I must have drunk about 15 Dr. Peppers. Yeah. And again, it's all right to help people, you know, allow for people to vent to you, you know, but just making sure it's venting. And also, again, I done spoke to this in older videos, you know, venting, but Again, venting having a certain little time period, like, you know, only for so long is venting, and then it turns into just trying to dwell in negativity and create a negative space to just like sink yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Venting should be like letting these things out so you could like you know, release, you know, like, and we all could attest to that. Like, you know, venting was like, bruh, I can't, this and that, oh man, that felt good to get that out. You know, like it gets to some point, because again, it's a vent, you know, like letting it out like an exhaust pipe, and it's like, you know, but venting ain't like, and this motherfucker ain't shit, and just constantly dwelling in this, and I ain't moving off of this notion. I'ma just stay right here, cause motherfucker, and I done made my point 1,000 times that this motherfucker ain't shit, but I wanna say it like 1,000 more times that this motherfucker ain't shit, and I wanna say 1,000 more times this motherfucker ain't shit, cause you know what, motherfucker just ain't shit, and motherfucker ain't shit, and I done said it already, and I done vented the point across, but I still wanna dwell on negativity by saying this motherfucker ain't shit, and you know, they got agents following us everywhere, and motherfucking agents, and agents. It's like, it gets to a certain point where, like, all right, there's venting, you know, again, and then there's staying in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, just want to make sure that we're not dwelling in these realms, you know. You will see more synchronicity and manifestation due to not, you know, again, due to, or should I say, just due to being in the moment, you know. Because another thing too, I gotta be consciously aware of is expressing things from, you know, making sure I'm always expressing things from a more positive aspect, in the sense of, like, again, like, instead of saying, oh, I'm against war, you know, I would say I'm pro-peace, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of saying I'm against this, I would be like, I'm pro-this, you know what I'm saying? Like just removing all the little, just like little underneath or subtle negative connotations that be within our, you know, our speech and the way we express ourselves. You know, it all counts. Not trying to say, be a goody two-shoes and stick your head in the sand. You know, that's not what I'm saying. And only, you know, and you would only get that from what I said if you're having an ego position of, like, you know, like, oh no, I feel like I got, you know, that negativity should be more in my universe, and I feel, well then yeah, then you're gonna feel, you know, that because you're holding on to ego perspective, so it's gonna kind of clash in essence. But again, that's basically it, y'all. Peace. And remember, again, most of our you know, moments is meant to be blissful and enjoying ourselves and smile, like, you know, like, just love, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this, and think about it, all this other shit comes from what society implemented. If you take away all the bullshit of what this system created, you know what I'm saying, like, you wouldn't even be dealing with a lot of the ideals and negativity that's, you know, that you're dealing with in your vortex right now, you know what I'm saying? Again, bro, blissful. You think indigenous beings watching the news worried about if Donald Trump, you think the people on Sentinel Island, because of course they don't have no TVs or anything, you think they fucking stressing about the same things that people in America stressing themselves out about? You know, no. You know, you see them little children, bro, be fucking kicking a fucking walnut, smiling and more genuinely happy than somebody, the little kid in America who just received the PlayStation 4 and bitching and complaining about that because he didn't get all the games with the PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what type of realm we in, you know, like, always looking for the negative. Like, you getting all these different things, but you could, but I could still find a way to be negative, though. You know, everything going good, but look at how Donald Trump, like, as a thing, like, that voice, like, well, bro, we doing good, everything, you know. And I get not to be blindly positive, but again, it's not being blindly positive if I know, like, hey, we subconsciously programming ourselves. We need to, you know, and our words are spells, you know. We need to affirm in a more positive manner, you know, because I think about situations where, you know, I speak on like, bro, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of growth and things changing, and then that person or that energy, most of that energy will come out of a person like, well, oh no, I still think people don't get it, and you know, and then Donald Trump building a wall, like you could hear something beautiful in that moment, but then it's like, oh no, I gotta find something to turn our stomach. Like I gotta find a subject to make our heart feel all fucked up and make our stomach feel all twisted. Hold on, like fuck that. Oh no, motherfucker still getting shot by the police, and and again, I'm not saying stick your head in the sand, but it is important for us to not pay attention to, you know, certain things that we don't want in our realm in reality. You know, certain things that are meant for us to acknowledge, you know, and then too, that's how I see what should come in my realm. I don't watch the news or any of that. So whatever comes to me just through hearing somebody conversation or things of that nature, then I know the universe kind of, you know, let me know, hey, just to be aware of this. You know, you ain't got to focus on this, but just be aware that this is happening, you know. But again, you know, that's the chess game of the whole situation. What we focus on grows. So what are we focusing on? You know. And again, it's not definitely don't want to stick your head in the sand, because when your head in the sand, you got to be kneeling down. You got to be on your knees, and your ass got to be in the air in order to stick your head in the sand. So I'm definitely, you know, again, we're not speaking to putting ourselves in a vulnerable position like that. You know, that's not what I'm speaking to. Peace. Peace. Happy now. Now's a vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.